All right, my friends, so welcome. Today we're going to be discussing Ethiopian opals, and we're basically going to cover everything that there is that you need to know about Ethiopian opals. All right, so just to get us started, a little bit of the history. Opal was discovered first in the Shiwa province in the Mezezo area back in the 1990s, and it was pretty much a chocolate-covered opal. Here you can see a piece. All right, so it's pretty much like a chocolate brown colored opal. Now, unfortunately, these are not stable, and they crack and craze like common, very, very common. So basically, people often stabilize them using resin. So if you ever see these, this is not what you want to be cutting. All right, so if you see something called Mezezo opal or even Shiwa opal, avoid it. We are interested in the next type of opal, which is called Welo opal. So basically, in 2008, in the Tina township, they discovered white opal. Very, very stable and great material to work with. You may have heard of the town of Delanta, which is the town in between Tina and the actual mine itself, sort of like a camping town. And from there, material passes all over the world. All right, now in addition, in 2013, the Steish mine was established in Gashina, and that's another area within Welo province. And that is specifically for black opal. All right, so we're going to be focused today on the Welo province, on the great opal that is useful for cutting. Now, you need to know that this opal is hydrophane. Hydrophane opal is opal that basically absorbs water at a rate of 5 to say 15% of the total weight of the rock. And that is because the silica spheres are kind of random and unstructured. And because of that, they have too much space in between them, and therefore they can absorb water. All right, so it is hydrophane material. Okay, now let's talk about the types of hydrophane material, or the types of Welo opal. All right, so first you have kind of the ideal material, which is something like this. And this is your typical hydrophane Welo material, and it is again from the area of the country near Tina. Now, this stuff is great for cutting. It's absolutely great colors. And we'll be talking about the type of patterns, but if you look at it, you've got really gorgeous translucent colors. And that is why Welo is famous. It's famous because of its translucent colors. You've got, all the colors of the rainbow. You got great patterns like honeycomb or pinfire. And as you can see over here, you can have really bright metallic colors. All right, now in addition to this hydrophane material is another type of material that people often call crystal or young opal. I'm going to show you that real quick. This is basically crystal opal. And what it means is mined wet. All right, so when they pull it out, it's already wet, and you basically need to keep it in water or it will kind of immediately craze and crack as it's drying. Now, there are ways to slow dry it over 6 months and perhaps salvage pieces of it, but I'm not going to recommend that to you because the material itself is just too fragile and unstable. Much better is to deal with the normal hydrophane material. All right, so this type of crystal opal is actually just younger opal. And once you remove it from water, it will typically craze. All right, still fun to cut and really, really inexpensive. All right, giant pieces, 100, 200, 300, even 500 carats, and relatively inexpensive. All right, so here you can see an example of that crystal opal. All right, we can even look a little further, there's even black crystal opal. And I hope you can see the kind of bright colors there are inside this material. It's really, really nice material, just for practicing on and playing with. All right, you can cut it up and you'll get a piece like this once you get all the dirt off. And as long as you store it in water, it's absolutely good to go. All right, so that is what crystal looks like. So we're gonna look a little bit at this crystal opal. Again, here you can see all right, and if I pull out those little pieces, you can even see in the all right, now as to the types, I thought we could start off by looking at the difference between opal from the Wigiltina area, which looks again like something like this, which you can see is great for cutting. All right, these pieces are just glorious. Look at, I mean, geez, look at that. Really nice. All right, now we also do have from the Steish mine black opal. All right. Again, it's not exactly the same as what you think of when you're thinking of Australian black opal. It's a little bit different, but let's take a look. All right, here you can see some of the greens, some of the yellows. All right, and if we maybe look a little closer, a lot of blues, reds, nice pieces. All right, very, very dark material and not translucent at all. So I'm going to zoom in now. There we can see the reds, the blues of Steish black opal. All right, again, rather large piece with a little bit of crazing in it. Okay, next we're going to take a look at some sizing. All right, so I just want to show you sizes so you can get an idea. All right, so here is a euro and here is a US quarter, just so you get an idea of sizing. And I'd like to show you first what 1 carat actually looks like. All right, so what do we see? We see that 1 carat is quite small in comparison to into a US quarter. All right, so this is 1 carat. If we were to move on to 5 carats, 10 carats, 20 carats, 30 carats, and again, let's put the quarter next to it so you get an idea. Here we go. 40 carats, 50 carats, 60 carats, 70 carats, 80 carats, 113 carats, 373 carats. All right, so this gives you an idea of the sizing of what an Ethiopian opal actually looks like in terms of size. So let's try that again. We'll start over here. Okay, so 1 carat, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 113, and finally 373 carats. All right, just to kind of show you the accuracy of this thing. Let's pick up our 1 carat piece. Here we can see. We're gonna drop it on. And hopefully you can see it's about 1 carat. Now if I remove that, let me show you what 373 carats looks like. Wow. So this is a highly unusual and rare piece. Once you get above 100 carats, that is really unique and highly unusual. The color usually just doesn't have color play like this. All right, so this is pretty much as large as the largest opal can get in terms of hydrophane opal. All right, so there we go. These are our opal sizes. Okay, now, I mentioned to you earlier that there are, plenty of different patterns, and of course, you can also, beyond just cabochon, you can also facet the opals. So let's take a look at what some facets look like. These are faceted Ethiopian opals, and the color play is amazing. Look at this, and of course, everything is double-sided. All right, so absolutely gorgeous. They're great for faceting, in my opinion. They really make beautiful jewelry. Each one's a little universe of explosion of color. All right, so if we take a look at just a few more of these, like here we can see, boy, beautiful. Now, a lot of the local people will actually heat treat and dye opals. And here, I want to show you what those look like so you can identify them. These are heat treated opals. All right, they have been treated with heat and in some cases dyed, all right, with oil or coloring. And they look unbelievable amazing. In fact, that's how you can tell they're fake. They're just too good. But just to show you what they look like, and it is typical for Ethiopian miners to oil up, bury, and even heat all of their pieces, all right, because the colors become phenomenal. Very bright. Okay, so if you're wondering if your opal is treated, you'll know right away if it looks like this. All right, so yeah, this is it. This is how you can tell the difference between heat treated and colored and all natural. All right, au natural. All right, so now you have a kind of an idea about these opals, and you can see, you can just throw them on the old wheel on the dubstick and get cutting. All right, so this is everything that you kind of need to know about purchasing these lovely hydrophane opals from Ethiopia. And the great part is that they are, half the price of Australian opals. I love Australian opals, I love all opals, but these also have a wonderful place, right? If you don't have the kind of cash to reach out and grab some, super expensive Australian opals, you can get patterns like this, and it's very affordable. Gosh, look at that. All right, so these are some very, very pretty opals, and they range the entire gamut of colors. Here you can see a little bit of even black potch on the bottom, and beautiful, beautiful colored crystal on the top. All right, so in future videos, we're actually going to be cutting all of these opals, and we'll be showing you what those look like. All right, here's again an example of the Stayish mine. All right, a black opal. Very thick and really not translucent. Just a different type of black than we're used to from Australian opals. Now, obviously nothing beats an Australian black opal, but these are lovely nonetheless. Lovely pieces. All right. And again, fasten yourself some cabochons. You can see stacks of them here. All right, and can you imagine, what something like this can make if we think about it? So let me kind of zoom in for a moment and just kind of show you a few of these pieces so you can get an idea of why I love these so much. Boy, really glorious pieces and lovely. Boy. Yeah, these opals are typically covered with a really dense mud, which you're going to need to remove before you can get into it. And people are really worried about the stability, etc., but I haven't seen any difference in the stability of hydrophane Welo opals and Australian opals. They both fracture and craze just as much. So I wouldn't say that these are any less quality whatsoever. And the studies I've looked at have really shown that the material is just as stable